Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Joyce, nurse here in the UK, and today I will be sharing with you the progress in our USA application. For a bit of background, I am a UK nurse and I've been practicing my profession here for about 8 years, but I qualified in the Philippines. Currently, I am practicing as an interventional radiology nurse for about 6 months, but my background is mainly bedside adult nursing. So that is acute medical unit, practicing as a nurse in the nursing home and then hospice care and then admissions and discharge and now interventional radiology nurse. The question is, why go to the US and leave the nice, lovely life that we have here in the UK? From the beginning and from when I was little, US dream has always been there because I have aunts who are successful nurses in the US, and actually the plan is for me to go to the US after graduation. However, at the time, that was 2015, there was no opportunity to go to the US, and UK is very much open and actually very easy to apply to as long as you've got the IELTS test passed. So yeah, fast forward 8 years, my husband and I actually thought that we'll be staying here and building a family here. However, the rising cost. I know I never thought I'll be saying this because whenever people say it, I feel like, oh, I hear it from old people, but I am one of those old people now. Rising cost. Honestly, I feel like the pay that we have here does not really keep up with the rising cost of rent, utilities, food, everything. It just costs so much more. And then adding the plan of building a family, it doesn't look like it's gonna add up. I know people make it work here. However, for our situation, and after running the numbers, we have more opportunity for investments, financial stability, and just a more comfortable life in the US. For the progress, where we are at now with our application, I passed NCLEX in 2023 and my husband did in 2024. So we have not actually we have not been actively applying or looking for jobs until he got his exam. And we both got a job offer in the same hospital end of the year last year. And since then, we have both been processing our VisaScreen and educational evaluation checks. Warner did his first, and I just followed the process he did. So for me, I started my VisaScreen early this year, January, and then the education verification just this June. For the VisaScreen, I had to pass IELTS, which I took in March. And then from there, I had to request forms in schools and from NMC here in the UK. I got the certification last week, and then, like I mentioned, the educational verification I just started recently. I wish I started my CES or the educational evaluation sooner because I did not realize that I lost my high school diploma. I could have requested my diploma early this year, but nevertheless, progress is still progress and it's fine. We're not in a rush. What matters is everything is moving, albeit in a very slow pace. Also, in addition, I got my nursing license in Northern Mariana Islands, so I had to have it not transferred, but endorsed to Pennsylvania. There are some process required for it as well, which I'm done with. So I now have a temporary license. Once I have finished the educational evaluation, CGFNS or True Merit will pass it on to Pennsylvania, and then I will get my permanent license. While this is all happening, the agency who works with the hospital who hired us are also processing my visa. Warner already has his H-1B visa approved and we're just waiting for mine. So for timeline, I feel like we could have sped it up if I was quicker with taking IELTS and if I was very strict with following up the documents that I needed from the Philippines. I was kind of lax about it, and I think that's the reason why it's been 6 months now and everything is still in process. Piece of advice, just be on point with following up your documents in the Philippines. Email them, call them, no matter what you need to do, just to make sure that things are moving, because sometimes there are things, sometimes I feel like things could have sped up if I am just following up constantly. Next thing is check the requirements, even if you're not paying for the service yet, like education, like the educational verification and VisaScreen, just so you can request things in advance, like like your PRC license, validation, or if you need to request your high school diploma, like I did. So what are we expect? So what are we expecting in the next few months? So I'm waiting for the visa approval, and then once we receive that, we'll book for an interview in the US Embassy, and hopefully we are looking into squeezing a bit of a holiday in the Philippines, just so we have a bit of time to relax, reset before we transition from our life here in the UK to the US. Things are looking really bright and exciting. I know there will be a transition period. I know that it will be different. However, I know that this is something that we planned and worked hard for. And no matter how difficult it will be, we will be grateful that we have this opportunity to go to the US. I know that leaving the UK has not properly sunk in yet for me, but I know there will be a grieving period for me because, UK has been my home for 8 years. I've learned so much about myself by living here, and I have friends here who have been constant support, and yeah, it's just actually really sad to be living here. And I met Warner here. If I wasn't practicing as a nurse here, we wouldn't have met. So yeah. Well, anyway, that's a little update from me about our USA move. If you are a UK nurse planning to move to the US, or you are processing or contemplating about moving to another country, please share your experiences with me, and stay tuned for more updates on our USA transition and also for my fitness journey. Again, thank you so much for your time and for being here today. Thank you and bye.